Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from PM2 Consulting. Many organizations come to us with questions about how to create the cascaded strategy maps and scorecards. How do they take the corporate level scorecard and translate it down to the business unit level? And what are the three elements they have to work with in doing this? And how do they choose which ones to use? Let me show you. Overall, as you're cascading a scorecard, you really have three levers to play with. From the corporate to a cascade, you can change the strategic objective, you can change the weighting, or you can change the performance indicator. In an example where corporate is setting mandated strategic objectives and telling you what the weighting is, and also telling you what indicator to use, effectively, you're now doing a franchise scorecard. If you think of a franchise like McDonald's, the corporation determines the objectives, the weightings, and the indicators. In a case where corporate determines the objectives and the weighting, but locally you choose the indicator, effectively you're in a mandated strategy environment. The corporate is mandating what the strategy is and the priorities, but you can choose how to measure it to best describe the idiosyncrasies of your business unit or your contribution. In the situation where corporate sets the objectives and the indicators, but you can choose the weighting, effectively you're in a mandated objectives framework. In this case, corporate might be able to tell you what the overall strategy is for the organization and how we're going to measure it, but allows the business unit to describe its micro market or brand or region specific idiosyncrasies by setting a weighting that describes what their local priorities are. This also works based on market maturity. I may have a similar strategy map, but in a certain business I'm trying to penetrate a new market, and therefore different objectives have a higher weighting than one where I'm trying to get, say, share of wallet. In a situation where corporate merely sets the objectives and the weightings and indicators are set locally, that is sort of a mandated direction. Corporate saying go in this direction, but you figure out how you're going to go do it and how you're going to report back to me. Finally, if everything is determined locally, you have a contributory scorecard where in a conglomerate environment, the business unit effectively continues on its own course and corporate provides perhaps shared services or other elements that allow that business to work more effectively as part of that organization. Now, these are just concepts. You can learn more by coming to pm2consulting.com.